You ever have those days where it feels like life is beating you up? Where you feel overwhelmed by everything in life that seems to be working against you? Where it feels like everything is falling apart?
Hey! Wait!
Sometimes you're just not okay. If you're like me, it just hurts so much to think that you're not perfect. Media and society tell us that you should be better, you should be farther along in your career, you should have this to be happy or whatever. And though it's important to constantly keep growing and improving, we end up taking this message to its extreme form, where we police ourselves and shame ourselves for not being perfect. We're horrified that, oh my God, I'm not living the perfect life. And we end up beating ourselves up so much because of that. I've had so many days lately where I compare myself to my friends with their regular jobs, and here I am draining my bank account making YouTube videos. And other days I beat myself up about something dumb I said in grade school, or a rejection I'm honestly still pretty embarrassed to admit still hurts after half a year. We all have our moments, some maybe more than others. If you remember Stephanie Lee from a previous video that we did, she's a therapist, a dating coach, and an expert that I often turn to. And one of the lessons, one of the most profound things that I've learned from her that's taken me so long to really internalize has been this. Sometimes it's okay to not be okay. Sometimes it's okay to not be okay. And I know that might sound trivial or cliche, but there is an immense amount of healing that happens when you finally realize and accept that the path isn't going to be perfect at every step. I think a lot of us, we grow up thinking that our life has to look a certain way. It has to look like how it is on social media, or it has to be this way that our parents will approve of, that we can't show weakness or we can't show a certain side of us because we're embarrassed to be farther behind than we think everyone else is. As we're seeing in the world now, things are gonna go wrong. We're going to be scared. We're going to fail sometimes. And accepting those times as a normal piece of what it means to live a human life is a skill that I'm only now starting to realize the gravity of learning to love yourself. I know self-love is a buzzword that's now been thrown around a lot. And words that are like that tend to end up losing a lot of meaning for a lot of us. But one way that I've really finally learned to grasp this concept of self-love has been through thinking about it in a different way. If you know the movie Forrest Gump, it's considered among the most beautiful pieces of cinema. And when you look at it, it's really just a story of this guy going through a lot of stuff, going through a lot of life. And although he has his high points, he goes through a lot of tragedy and he goes through a lot of difficulties. But when you look at it, it's not because of the things that he achieved or the status he attained and the way he looks from the outside. You look at this guy in his life and be like, man, my heart goes out to him because he's a really messy, confusing life that we can all relate to.
Life is a box of chocolates, Forrest. You never know what you're gonna get.
And a lot of movies surprisingly follow the same way. We fall in love with these characters because of what they go through, not because of where they end up. And I think that's what it means to really love yourself.
Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something. Not even me.
The flower that blooms in adversity is the most rare and beautiful of all.
And so I don't know how that resonates with you, if it does or it doesn't. But I wanted to share sort of an exercise with you, if you don't mind joining me for 60 seconds. Close your eyes and imagine that you're watching yourself from a third-person perspective. You sitting there with your phone right now, or on your laptop watching this, or on the toilet. I see you. That is the best place in the house to sit and watch videos. But anyways, think about yourself in the third person, as if you're seeing yourself for the first time as a character in a movie you're watching. And realize that this person you're looking at is going through a hard time. That this person has a good heart, but things aren't working out at the moment. And realize how much your heart goes out to them. This version of you that you see on the screen, and stay there for a moment, loving yourself. holding yourself like you would a friend who just lost someone. Be there and tell yourself that it's okay to not be okay, and that I still love you anyways. Sometimes it's okay to not be okay. Especially in a hard time like this, where everyone is going through something. Even after this passes, everyone has their tough days. And no one should go through it alone. It's important for us to be there for each other. But it's just as important for us to be there for ourselves too. And so I'm sending you all the best wishes. And if you need someone to talk to, message me on Instagram. I want to be there as much as possible and practice what I'm saying on this channel, because I'm also on this learning journey as well. Or comment below and also respond to someone else in the comments, because sometimes we need to show other people that they're worth loving in order to believe the same about ourselves. And man, I wish I could give you all a hug through the camera. And so I'm sending you much love and the biggest hugs possible through the internet. And I love you all, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.